In this video, we're going to use the Wfuzz tool to perform web content discovery. Wfuzz is an open source web application vulnerability scanner, and it also performs brute forcing, and it's designed specifically for fuzzing web applications. Fuzzing is a term that refers to a technique of automated software testing that is used to detect coding errors and security vulnerabilities in web applications and other kinds of software. Generally, Wfuzz is used for brute forcing directories and files in a web application, performing fuzzing on API requests to find get and post parameters, and looking for things like authentication bypasses. Some of the advantages of the Wfuzz tool are that it has customizable payloads, it can filter through responses based on HTTP codes, response length, and other parameters, it has support for multiple HTTP methods, and it also has proxy and Tor support. To get started with the Wfuzz tool, we first need to install it. Wfuzz is a Python-based tool, so we're going to need to make sure that our system has Python installed before we start working with Wfuzz. So on a system with Python installed, open up a PowerShell terminal or a Linux terminal or whatever terminal is on your system and run the command python 3-m pip install wfuzz. And this will install Wfuzz if it's not already installed. In this case, Wfuzz is already installed on my system and ready to go. If I type in the command wfuzz now, I can see that it outputs the usage options below that, telling me that the Wfuzz tool is properly installed. We can also see how we can use Wfuzz in this output, and we can get further information by typing in wfuzz-h. Here we have the help output for the Wfuzz tool, telling us the usage and all of the different flags we can pass to the command, along with descriptions of what those flags do. Now let's run some commands against a local web server and see what we can do. I have a web server running on port 8080, and that's the web server that I'm going to run Wfuzz against. Now our first step before we get going with using the Wfuzz tool is going to be creating a word list for the Wfuzz tool to use. So to do that, I'm going to create a file in my directory called wordlist.txt, and we'll fill this up with some common words. Once I'm happy with my word list, I'll save this file. And now we can start building our Wfuzz command. So I'm going to start with the command wfuzz. I'm going to pass the -c flag, which will make Wfuzz format its output in a nice colored format. And then we're going to pass the -w flag and point to our word list. And that tells Wfuzz what word list to use when performing its fuzzing. Then we want to hide any 404 responses, so we'll pass --hc404. And then we'll pass the address of my web application, followed by /fuzz, and hit enter. And Wfuzz gives us some output from our command. So let's examine this output now and see what the fuzzing tool has done. This /fuzz that I put onto the end of my URL is representing the placeholder that is going to be replaced by all the words from my word list when the fuzzing tool is running. So when the tool is actually running, instead of /fuzz, it's going to be trying /admin, /hidden, /secret, and so on for all the words that we put in the word list. We can see that in total, Wfuzz tried 8 different requests on the target, and then we have a column of output from the tool. Starting in the response column, we can see that we have 3 301 responses, meaning that we were redirected when the admin, hidden, and secret path were put in place of fuzz. So this means that the server was redirecting us, likely appending a / at the end of the URL, indicating that these are potentially valid folders on this server. And then we have a 200 success response, meaning that the base resource for the URL that we specified was found and is valid. We can also get information about the response body, knowing that it is 17 lines, 29 words, and 302 characters long. With the 301s, we didn't get any body, so we're not seeing any line, word, or character length. And then at the bottom, we have some metadata telling us the time it took, the number of requests that were processed, the number of filtered requests, and the requests per second. So now that we have some information about this server, let's run another command. We're fairly confident that the 301s mean that these are directories on the web application. So if I return to my previous command, and at the end of the URL, instead of /fuzz, I'm going to put /secret/fuzz. And rerun the command. And now we're trying to fuzz against the secret directory on this URL. And we have a response telling us 200, so this URL was valid, but none of our words enumerated any further directories or information for us with this command. However, this doesn't mean that this is an empty directory, it just means that there are no more subdirectories found for our word list. So now that we know this is a valid directory, let's try and enumerate some of the files inside of that directory. Once again, I'm going to use that same command that we just used against the secret directory, but I'm going to add a -z flag to my command, followed by a list of common file extensions that we might want to look for. And we do that by first specifying list, followed by the list of actual extensions. In this case, we're looking for .php, .html, and .txt. And we'll run the command again. But we run into an error, telling us that the fuzz words and number of payloads do not match. And this is because when we use the -z list option, we're actually fuzzing two positions. So Wfuzz is going to expect two placeholders in the URL, one for the word and one for the extension. So at the end of our URL, we need to add fuzz2z to put the second fuzzing position in place. And now we can run the command again, and we can see that it runs properly. But no files were actually found inside of the directory. So this is how we can use the Wfuzz tool to try and explore web applications and enumerate the various information that might be hosted on those applications. And we would continue performing our investigation on all of the folders that we find, looking for more folders, more subdirectories, and more files within those directories.